What is LangChain? LangChain is easiest to understand if you picture it like building a small machine out of Lego blocks, where each block handles one part of an LLM workflow. Instead of wiring everything by hand, you simply snap together pieces that let the model talk to external data, run tools, and follow a structured path. Companies love this because it cuts development time from weeks to days, especially for support bots, search tools, or finance assistants. Imagine an app that answers questions using internal manuals. LangChain handles the plumbing so the model focuses on the answer. A strong interview response is, LangChain is a framework that connects an LLM with outside data and tools using modular, reusable components. A good follow-up is, why not just call the model directly? You can say that raw calls don't scale when you need memory, retrieval, or multi-step logic. Another common follow-up is, where does it fit in real products? The safe answer is rapid prototyping and RAG-heavy workflows. Don't worry if this feels abstract. Once you build one chain, it becomes second nature. LangChain architecture components. Think of LangChain's architecture as four teammates working in harmony. Chains act like a script that runs in a predictable order, similar to following a recipe card, step by step. Memory quietly keeps track of what has happened so far, like jotting the last important line in a notebook so the model doesn't forget. Agents make choices on the fly, deciding which tool to use, the same way a mechanic picks the right wrench without planning every move. Retrievers pull the most relevant documents using ANN search, almost like a librarian sprinting to the exact shelf before the model speaks. Companies rely on this structure because it keeps large, multi-step AI systems maintainable. A strong interview line is, chains give structure, memory adds context, agents decide actions, and retrievers bring knowledge. A likely follow-up is, when do you prefer agents over chains? You can reply that agents shine when the path cannot be predetermined. Another common question is, how does vector storage help? Just explain that it lets the system fetch meaning instead of exact words. These components become intuitive as you build with them. How LangChain works. Pipeline flow. The flow feels natural once you visualize it as a small relay chain. A user asks a question, and the system immediately fetches context, like glancing at your notes before giving an answer. The retriever pulls relevant documents from the vector store using ANN search, lining up the right facts before the model thinks. While retrieve, the LLM then processes both the question and the retrieved information, similar to merging a question with highlighted text on a page. If extra steps are needed, maybe a calculator, an API call, or a database lookup, the agent decides which tool to activate, like a chef reaching for the right utensil without pausing. Companies favor this pattern because it ensures grounded, low hallucination responses. A crisp interview summary is input, retrieval, model reasoning, optional tool use, final output. One follow-up might be, what if retrieval brings in relevant docs? The answer is adjusting similarity thresholds or swapping search strategies like HNSW or IVF indexing. Another is, how do you reduce latency? You can mention caching or smaller embeddings. This pipeline becomes very intuitive with practice. Common follow-up questions. A lot of interviewers check whether you truly understand the subtle differences. Chains follow a fixed, predictable path, like A to B to C. while agents stay flexible and choose tools dynamically, more like a researcher deciding the next move based on new evidence. Memory stores conversation history either as raw text or compressed summaries, helping the model respond with awareness across longer chats. RAG combines retrieval with generation, so answers stay grounded, a crucial requirement for support teams, legal workflows, or compliance reviews. LangChain supports OpenAI, Anthropic, Hugging Face models, Google's large models, and local models through Ollama, which companies appreciate when privacy matters. A useful interview follow-up is, how do you pick the right memory type? The safe answer is, buffer for short chats, summaries for long ones. Another common one is, when does RAG fail? You can say it struggles when documents are missing or poorly chunked. Don't worry if this seems like a lot. These distinctions become second nature as you build real systems. Mastering these answers signals true competence. Real-world use cases. LangChain shines in real-world applications because it turns chaotic workflows into clean, modular systems. A chatbot with memory feels more human by remembering earlier questions, almost like a barista who recalls your last order. Document Q&A systems rely on RAG to pull the exact snippet from a policy manual, a medical guideline, or an HR handbook before generating an answer. This reduces hallucination and boosts trust. Data analysis agents translate natural language into SQL, run the query, and return charts or summaries, which teams at places like Airbnb or Shopify use to speed up decision-making. Companies love LangChain because it shortens iteration cycles and keeps complex AI logic easy to maintain. A sharp interview answer is, LangChain is ideal for support bots, internal search, and data agents. One follow-up might be, why not bake retrieval directly into the model? You can say it's less flexible and harder to update. Another is, what's the biggest pitfall? The safe reply is poorly chunked documents. With a little practice, you'll see how naturally these use cases flow from LangChain's modular design. Great job learning today. If this helped you feel clearer or more confident for your AI or ML interviews, tap like so more learners can find you. If you want simple guidance for every interview topic, subscribe so you never miss the next lesson. You can share your questions in the comments. I read them, and they help me choose what to teach next. And if you know someone preparing for interviews, feel free to share this with them. Keep going. You're improving with every step. I'm here to help you grow.